Welcome everyone to Google for Startups Circular Economy Accelerator Demo Day. My name is Bak, and I head startup ecosystem programs across Southeast Asia and for circular economy. And I'm thrilled to be your host today. We'll be entering a world where resourcefulness meets creativity, where waste transform into opportunity. A lineup of rockstar startups will be taking the stage and show you how they're shaking up the status quo and redefining what it means to build a thriving business while saving the planet. We've got funky upcyclers and genius recyclers, eco-heroes with a twist that's turning trash into treasure, and entrepreneurs proving how you can do well by doing good. All of them crafting a future where sustainability and success go hand in hand. So put on your green thinking cap, sit back, relax, and join us on this inspiring journey of imagination and impact. Witness the audacity, ingenuity, and the sheer awesomeness of these game changers while paving the way for a circular economy revolution. Welcome to Google for Startups Circular Economy Accelerator Demo Day 2023. To kick things off, we have a company from Santa Barbara that will help you find the best resale offers online for your favorite brands. Please welcome Sarah from Beni. Hi Sarah, good to see you again. Tell us something about yourself. Are you from Santa Barbara originally?
Yep. So I was born and raised in Santa Barbara. Beni is headquartered in Santa Barbara in part because of that and in part because my co-founder lives there. And we actually got connected because my dad is the property manager at her apartment building. And we were both food waste nerds. And so he connected us about 6 years ago. And then we ended up becoming co-founders of Beni.
That is a fascinating story. You're going to tell us a little bit more how Beni came about. Was it because that you're an avid online shopper of resale brand items?
It's a great question. So, Beni really, both Celine and I come a bit more from a sustainability background than kind of a shopping or retail or fashion background. And, we do shop online. And I really wanted to buy secondhand from a sustainability perspective, but I found it to be a pretty clunky experience. And then I remember talking to so many friends and they'd say something like, yeah, I know I should buy secondhand, but I just don't. Like, it just takes too much time. I don't even know where to start. And so we came up with Beni to really reduce the hurdles and the friction for people who want to buy secondhand, whether it's because you shop a couple times a year or you're always shopping online. It should be really easy for you to buy items secondhand.
I like the fact that you're focusing on lowering the entry barrier for users. Well, Sarah, the stage is yours. Take it away. Show us your pitch.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, I'm so excited to share with you Beni, a product designed to make buying secondhand as easy as buying new. So let's meet Catherine, who is an early Beni user. Catherine loves to shop, but she knows the fashion industry is wasteful. So she likes the idea of secondhand. She can save money and the planet. But she doesn't actually buy clothes secondhand because for her, secondhand shopping sucks. And Catherine's not alone. Research shows that while 93% of shoppers want to buy secondhand, only 50% actually do. And from over 1,000 user interactions, what we've learned is that shoppers want to buy secondhand. It's cheaper, more sustainable, and they can find unique pieces. But they don't want to shop secondhand. It just takes too much time and they're not interested in learning a new way of shopping. With Beni, you can buy secondhand without changing how you shop. The Beni browser extension finds the best resale alternatives from across the internet in the click of a button. Here's how it works. Let's say Catherine wants this Outdoor Voices exercise dress. Well, on their site, she clicks on the Beni browser extension. In the extension, she sees secondhand options for that dress from the world's leading re-commerce sites. She finds her favorite and navigates to that site for purchase. And that's exactly what she did. Here's Catherine again in her Outdoor Voices dress she got on Poshmark through Beni. She got it for half the price and felt great about it. And Catherine's not alone. In the last 2 years, we've helped hundreds of shoppers find and buy clothes secondhand. We've grown organically to 8,000 installs by positioning Beni as the go-to tool to help shoppers navigate resale. In fact, we were just featured on the Today Show as a great way to shop on a budget. By making it easy for shoppers to find and buy clothes secondhand, we bring new customers to resale marketplaces and earn a commission on purchases made by way of Beni. We're already partnered with over 40 of the leading marketplaces. With our unique and easy tool, Beni is changing the resale conversation. And this simple tool is built on a robust technical foundation. By partnering directly with resale marketplaces, we now have the world's largest database of resale listings for apparel. With this data, we curate recommendations using a unique combination of powerful AI technology to determine if this is a secondhand version of that. And as an extension, we gain insights into how shoppers shop across new and used, which will become increasingly valuable as resale grows. And resale is growing rapidly. By 2027, resale is expected to grow 9 times faster than the broader clothing retail sector. This growth is driven by a near elimination of stigma and a boom in online resale options. In other words, resale is generally accepted and available. But to continue to accelerate this growth, we need tools like Beni to make resale accessible, because according to research, 60% of future growth is expected to come from new resale shoppers. This is why Beni's goal is to make resale as easy as buying new. And to make that vision a reality, we will continue to develop our AI-powered tech foundation and expand into additional channels to make resale accessible to everyone, everywhere they shop. And we have a powerful combination of expertise and experience to make this happen. My co-founder, Celine, is an environmental scientist and software engineer. She co-founded a startup in the sustainable apparel space and built globally used software at Appeal. Our COO, Ryan, most recently led the partnerships team at Honey, one of the most successful browser extensions. She's also the founder of her own upcycled clothing brand. Kate, our CMO, has nearly a decade of experience in brand and marketing at AB InBev, and her work included launching Bud Light Seltzer. As for me, I have a background in finance, operations, and strategy, and I most recently launched the sustainability team at Imperfect Foods. Beni has raised over $5 million in venture funding to date from women-led venture funds and industry experts who believe in the power of Beni to accelerate the growth of resale. And why is this important? In the last 5 minutes I've been speaking, the equivalent of 150 garbage trucks full of textiles were landfilled or burned. Resale is a critical part of reducing the burden of fashion on the planet. And here is one easy way to support the mission of making resale the new norm. Download Beni. Thank you for listening about Beni. You can download Beni for free on Chrome or iOS as a Safari app extension. Thank you.
Good stuff, Sarah. Thanks for sharing. One last question before we let you go. Fast fashion is still very popular among consumers, and I'm just wondering how Beni and fast fashion company can work together for a greener solution.
It's a great point. So, one thing about fast fashion is it's been successful for a reason, right? Fashion and buying clothes is not just something that people do, there's because they want to. There's sort of deep psychological reasons that people shop. They want to feel like they're part of the kind of community. They want to feel good in their body. They want to express themselves. And fast fashion has allowed people to do that affordably, quickly, and very conveniently. And so one place when we think about fast fashion, Beni actually sort of looks to fast fashion to sort of learn about how can we address those needs of shoppers to find and buy new clothes for themselves, but do it in a way that's sustainable. And so that's why we're trying to make resale as easy as buying something through fast fashion. So that's one piece. And then I think the other big piece is that in our conversations with brands, from fast fashion brands to smaller brands, there is a clear understanding that re-commerce is here to stay. And it's important to have that be part of your strategy And ultimately, our goal is to, in making resale the new norm, to encourage brands to produce less and produce higher quality items, and then continue to recapture value from the items by focusing on resale versus just buying, producing new clothes. So we have some great mentors like Evan at H&M, who came through the Google Accelerator, that have helped us in making sure we're working together with everyone in the industry to kind of build this future version of fashion.
That's awesome. Thank you, Sarah. So that was Sarah from Beni. Next up, we have a company from Phoenix that's large-scale AI processing and re-commerce part of their core DNA. Please welcome Ty from HAMMOQ. Welcome, Ty. Tell us a bit about yourself. What got you interested and involved in re-commerce?
Yep. Great question. So at the age of 14, I actually sold my first car before I could even drive. It was an ugly olive green Mustang fastback. From then I was hooked on it. From that 14 to 18, I sold everything and anything to get my hands on. That actually paid for my college. Went to college, then did the VC track and the startup incubator track until 2017. 2017 on, I have been nothing but resale. First hit garage sales and estate sales, building up the inventory and that cash. Then we actually did estate sales and downsizing, taking a 14,000 square foot house with 5,000 items inside it, everything from rare art to cars, to jewelry, to your average tchotchkes inside your house, to clothing, to shoes, everything. We had to liquidate out and actually pay the family from that. From there, I started day trading Amazon to eBay. Still the easiest way to make $1 million. If anybody wants to learn it, free on YouTube. But we kind of saw the huge problem that's happening, right? To get items onto, let's say, eBay or any platform, you have to digitize it. So basically put it in its virtual form. That's the core thing of HAMMOQ, of what we're supposed to do and what we try to do as well.
It's super interesting. HAMMOQ, that's an acronym, right? Can you tell us what it means and what it stands for?
Yep. What it means is sit back, relax, we'll do all the work. Reselling is a heavy, intense job and gig for anybody from the large corporate thrifts to resellers. I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the money flowing in.
Thank you, Ty. Well, now's the moment to learn more about HAMMOQ. So the stage is yours. Give us your pitch.
Awesome. So what's going on, guys? My name is Ty Blunt, co-founder of HAMMOQ. HAMMOQ's vision is to take the physical world and make it digital for resale. We are resale's revenue engine. So there's a huge problem. This is actually in one of our clients' locations down in Florida. They get 120,000 unique items a day. They're unable to process that all manually. So what happens? In that last video, you see those big, huge boxes. Those are stacked up in their 100,000+ foot warehouse to the walls. They're unable to process that 120,000 items they receive per day. So there's a lot of manual touch points. They have 1,000+ staff trying to do this across each Goodwill region. So you ask me, what's inside these huge Gaylords of boxes, right? There's actually a Legend of Zelda that sold for $411,000. Without tech like ours, this could slip through and hit the retail stores, or somebody's going to pick it up for $5, $6, $10. But instead, our goal is to make our Goodwill and our large corporate thrifts $411,000. Again, this was in one of those Gaylord boxes at a time. So we provide three things to help our large corporate resellers and resellers in general. AI sort, basically finding those Zelda games, those other really unique and high-priced items through our generative AI. Second is our AI photo. What we do is we white out the background, color enhance that, and actually measure down to the 0.1 of an inch garments and other items. What this does, one, it increases the sell-through, how fast an item sells. Two, decreases the return rate. So one, making our clients more money and having to spend less on returns is a huge problem. Three is our flagship product, AI List. what's happening in this photo? We took a picture of these Converse. Our AI is able to generate tags, or what we call in the industry, item specifics, using pure AI. Again, that is our core products. So with those 3 products, what's happening with your customers? So our customers speak highly about us. Here's a quote that I love. "HAMMOQ is our growth engine," by the COO of Gulfstream Goodwill. So this is their e-commerce graph over time. They actually presented this at their own board meeting recently. And this shows that hockey stick growth curve for their e-commerce listings. This is the awesome part. They started in 2018 re-commerce. Re-commerce is brand new. It reminds me kind of the 2000s retail online. This is their graph. We started with them in 2021. As you can see, started growing and then scaled up. In that first year, we took them from $135,000 a month in revenue to $400,000, about a 3x increase. So I talk about Goodwill, but we have a lot of customers globally as well. Some big ones would be Habitat for Humanity, Salvation Army, Goodwill. And we've been growing quick. Let's just say very quick. At the start, we hit product market fit and we get a feel about to take off. About 200% year-over-year growth. And we're excited. I think our next few products will even skyrocket that even faster. We are about to be profitable as well. So it is awesome. We're on a great growth curve, and I love being profitable in the next few months. So meet the founders. Sid, my boy, he started out in BCG doing the corporate route. He actually then started a machine vision annotation company. He came into my warehouse, saw the rare art on the walls, and we both said, hey, we need to build a product in the resale space. From my past goings, we know that listings and digitizing those assets is the bottleneck for anything in resale. Basically, uncategorized assets around the world, we want to digitize them to figure out what they are so they can sell at a higher price, faster, and in the correct locations. Again, you already know my background from the questions before as well. So why HAMMOQ? We're the only team tackling this space. Our generative AI is specifically for the retail space and the thrift space near term as well. We'll branch off to other things in the very near future. But we're focusing on that thrift space because it's a huge, massive problem that no one's tackling. Also, there's more growth in resale than traditional retail. It's everywhere. You hear the headlines, what's going on, but this is a pure cut path to make money off this space. So our vision, let me paint a huge picture. Did you know the United States is actually the largest exporter of used goods, not the largest buyer of used goods? So let me paint that picture first. What we're going after right now is thrift e-commerce, and this all ties in together. We're going to start tackling this market even harder with more products, more tools to make this a bigger source of the pie. This is only a fraction of these large Goodwill's revenue. Next, we're starting to go after thrift retail, the behemoth. No one's been able to touch this with AI. We're excited to release our first product in the very near term future to tackle this. Last but not least, retail, the 3PLs, the reverse logistics, the brands are actually starting to hit us up. We actually have a demo with a reverse logistics company. They want to use our tech and our AI. So super excited for the future. So again, our 3 objectives: launch that new product, go after those brands and reverse logistics companies, and world domination. Like I said before, the United States is not the largest seller or buyers of used items. They're the largest exporters. So there's a global market out there that is so entwined and so backdated. That's the very, very big future. But that's where we see ourselves in the near term, or in the very near future. Awesome. So again, my name is Ty with HAMMOQ. Like I said, we're almost profitable. It should happen in the next few months, and we have a large runway. So we're not looking for investors as of right now. But if you have any industry-specific knowledge, we're happy to talk and go from there. Awesome. Again, my name is Ty Blunt. You can reach out to me anytime at ty@hammoq.com. Thank you for your time.
Love your energy, Ty. You folks has made a big splash with HAMMOQ already. What's the secret to your success, and what do you plan to do next?
Great question. Great question. So our secret is being so in the weeds of this, right? I've actually almost died because of this. A hotel collapsed and I just barely missed it for being so ingrained in the weeds on the world stage of resale. So that's kind of, I think, reason why we're so good at what we're doing. We found a huge problem. Our product market fit is on point, and both Sid and I and the rest of our team are so hands-on with this. We know this space from beginning to end customer around the world. Kind of what's next is going to be a few different things. Kind of on that 3-stage slide, keep dominating our e-commerce space. We're starting to grow really rapidly. Next is hit that retail space. It's about 20 times larger than the e-commerce space since it's so brand new. Resale, I believe, is the second largest industry in the world. It hasn't been known yet, but I believe in back in the day, our ancestors were selling swords and stuff. With this, resale has been the same since the day one. It's been physical. I put it in the store and whatnot. Our game is to change that very quickly.
Thank you, Ty. So that was Ty from HAMMOQ. Coming up next, we have SuperCircle, a tech and reverse logistic platform that is changing fashion along with climate. Now, unfortunately, the founders, Chloe and Stuart, couldn't make it, so we have Mary and Vishal. Hey folks, thanks for taking the time to join us. We know this is not your first rodeo, so tell us what happened before and what led to this point.
Yes, Chloe and Stuart actually met when they were working back in Asia about a decade ago. And in that journey, Chloe and Stuart recognized that in trying to find sustainable materials to build and develop product, it just wasn't easy to find those right materials. And so they both decided to foray in developing a shoe called 1000 Fell, which is made strictly from recycled material. And they wanted to take it a step further and actually encourage customers to return that shoe when that shoe is no longer usable. And in that journey of taking back that shoe in its end of life moment, their biggest challenge that they've recognized that it wasn't the shoe itself, but it was actually the operations, the logistics, and the transportation, and taking back that product from that consumer and breaking it down into pieces that can go into a recycling stream. So because of that, they built a platform, SuperCircle, so that they would be able to enable take back across brands in aggregate, in hopes that it will take down the cost of recycling, the cost of operations through everybody coming in as a community.
It's definitely a community effort. You folks have been pretty successful. Congratulations on being featured on Forbes. Did that give you a boost to SuperCircle?
Most definitely. I think not only did that boost our confidence, but it really actually boosted understanding that there was actually market fit almost immediately. What had happened is when we were featured in Forbes, brands started to call us. They started to recognize that, or we started to recognize that they were looking for a solution that was actually going to help them not only recycle, but also take back from their end consumer. So right away, we knew from these conversations that, wow, we weren't the only ones thinking about it. Actually, brands across the industry were actually thinking about it. So that helped us right away really kind of catapult our strategies to try to very quickly get brands and talk to brands globally to think about how we can help them actually stand up, take back, trade in, and recycling.
Thank you so much for sharing. Whenever you're ready, we are here to learn more about SuperCircle, so take it away.
Hi, my name is Vishal, and I'm the head of marketing and partnerships for SuperCircle, and we're excited to speak with you all today.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mary. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer of SuperCircle.
So to get started, we kind of just want to kind of give you guys a landscape of the textile waste problem, which you guys are probably really familiar with. And so 60% of clothing ends up in landfill within a year of being produced. And so through our exploration and really understanding where brands are looking for a end-of-life solution, we really saw that the whole industry really lacks the infrastructure to really connect all the big players in the space. So consumers and brands, but also shipping networks, resale, sorting, and recycling. And really there was no such a fragmented part of the industry. And so there was no one player kind of pulling these two things together. SuperCircle is that player. SuperCircle connects the fragmented waste industry and really can think of us as a network of networks, bringing in together all the different multifaceted parts of circularity and bring them together to a one-stop shop. We're able to help brands manage their full operational take-back of circularity, but also provide value to the customers and create that end-of-life solution as well. And so at a high level, you can kind of just see here some of the partners that we bring together in the ecosystem, everything from digital tagging to recycling, shipping, and resale partners as well. And so we really power circularity for world's best brands. And so we partner with brands in a few different ways. One is we do manage their inventory and their trade-in experience. We manage all the reverse logistics and operations. So this is the kind of the challenge that brands really face in the space. And then the data analytics of that. Really, for the first time, we're capturing end-of-life data that brands can use to then further learn more about their product. And so we work with brands in 3 specific ways. Inventory liability, where any brand that has damaged goods, excess inventory, fabric scraps, we're able to responsibly recycle that for them. We also operate in-store take-back. So stores using their store fleet to be able to allow consumers to come into store, recycle items, and get a credit back at the brand. And then our post-consumer take-back. This is our most popular offering, where brands are actually partnering with us to create a digital trade-in program, which looks very much like a brand experience. It has your color copy font. We're actually powering all the tech, logistics, and operations behind the scenes to really power that take-back program for brands. And so once we take back a product from a brand, we actually are doing all the operational management. So this is the heavy lift that brands are really struggling with right now. We do all the reverse logistics intake and the fiber sorting. And then once we have that all kind of into our warehouse, we do all the banking, baling, and processing to get that to a recycler. And so we're cross-aggregating waste across multiple brands and multiple fabric types to get to the right tonnage waste that recyclers are looking for to be able to send it to a recycler responsibly. And so we are really focused on getting everything to the highest waste stream. So we're really focused on really getting as much into fiber to fiber recycling as possible. We also have downcycling programs and special projects as well that really helps across the different categories of footwear, apparel, but also different categories, different industries as well, including healthcare, uniforms, sports league. We're kind of working with the multiple players, any textile within the space as well. And then the advanced reporting. So we're really providing brands a whole data dashboard for end of life, which is the first time they're really seeing the gate to cradle information. And so CO2 saved, energy conserved, really helping brands learn a little bit more about their product and their materials that they're using. And then also using that information to inform their circularity assortment over time and really trying to get their assortment over the next couple of years more circular as they're kind of engineering more product innovation there as well. And then just to summarize that all, we're really managing everything from the front-end experience, from the customers facing to the back-end experience as well, from the shipping, logistics, operational management, and reporting as well.
So why would brands really want to come and work with SuperCircle? Well, Reformation is one of our launch partners that we really set up sustainability through take back and trade in. And what we've learned right away was that the platform was profitable. The brand is actually earning $4 for every $1 that they're spending through recycling. In addition, the platform has actually leaned in to be a very strong marketing driver for them. They are actually seeing anywhere between 5 to 10% new customers being driven through recycling. And they are actually also using recycling as another lever for retention and really engaging with their loyal customers. So all in all, not only are they driving positive impact to the environment and getting products out of landfill, they're now able to optimize through revenue and profit and actually make recycling a really engaging tool for their customers. So what does that look like for SuperCircle? We are actually in contract to launch over 15 brands. Last April, we actually announced our launch with Uniqlo North America. So we are actually on track to really continue to drive sustainability across the fashion industry. In addition, we have actually more than 40 brands in conversation, anywhere ranging from small, medium businesses, but also really engaging with really high enterprise businesses, specifically some of these really large brands that really want to focus on sustainability and take back. So we're really confident that through the platform, we can really start to bring in volume and scale recycling across multiple different materials and product categories. So our goal here is really to envision nothing ever gets thrown away. We want to make sure that every item that we're collecting is going into a higher value closed loop system. And we're hoping through the help of investors that we'll be able to continue to scale that through funding, but most importantly, be able to scale that with additional partners across retail and other textile organizations.
Awesome. Just one last question. You've got a lot of collaborations with brands and was being featured in a lot of media publication. So tell us, what is next for SuperCircle?
I think really the next big thing is really creating that community. And so rather than SuperCircle really just being a platform for not only fashion brands, but also for recyclers in our network, our goal is to really create a circularity community that will enable all areas of the businesses, whether or not it is materials, textiles, cardboard boxes. We really want to drive community through action. And we believe that this is the start. SuperCircle is going to be the start to be able to drive that.
Love it. Thank you so much, Mary and Michelle. So that was Mary and Michelle from SuperCircle. And now I'd like to introduce to you the first of our special Google executive guests for today. He's responsible for leading an organization in eliminating waste and pollution, keeping products and materials in use, and driving the development and usage of safety, chemistry, and healthy materials across operations, products, and supply chain. Here with a special message from the head of circular economy at Google, Mike Werner.
Hi, I'm Mike Werner, the head of circular economy at Google. The circular economy is the only mainstream model for economic value creation that expressly aims to balance consumption with regeneration of natural resources and ecosystems, coupled with strong social and economic growth. Over the last 20 years, we've seen companies of all kinds establish corporate circular economy targets and strategies, and countries have established aggressive circular economy regulations, including many in the European Union, the United States, Canada, India, China, and others. There is wide scientific consensus that humanity's appetite for raw materials far surpasses the ability for the planet to regenerate them. The Global Footprint Network tells us that humanity is now consuming 1.75 Earth's worth of resources each year, and we've been running an ecological deficit since 1970. Quite simply, the linear take, make, waste economic model of the last 150 years of industrial evolution is unsustainable. But there's good news. Accenture has published that the circular economy could generate $4.5 trillion in additional economic output by 2030 through circular business models. And those models are aimed at decoupling economic growth from natural resource consumption while driving higher competitiveness. Google's economy has taken place over many years, dating back to our founding. However, we launched our first circular economy vision, mission, and multi-year goal in 2019. Since then, our focus has been on accelerating the transition to the circular economy by maximizing the reuse of finite resources across our entire business, while also enabling others to do the same through the use of our products, tools, and technology. One of the unique aspects of our circular economy strategy when compared to others in the world is that we recognize the importance of and the unique opportunity to engage billions of people around the world to unlock and accelerate circularity. We've done this in such ways as empowering people to more easily recycle through Google Maps, enabling everyday citizens to shop for pre-owned items, and we recently launched a series of computer vision AI models geared towards the recycling ecosystem, which we call CircularNet. Enabling everyone to participate in the circular economy is so important because no one single company can realize a circular economy themselves. It requires wide-scale systems change, from how products are designed, sourced, manufactured, distributed, used, and eventually recycled. Everyone has an important role to play, and that's why we believe it's really important to engage the early stage startup community through sustainability accelerators. Accelerators offer us an opportunity to provide tailored technical product and leadership training to early stage companies from Google experts and from our wider network. Since 2016, Google's operated 19 different accelerators, several of which have been focused on sustainability and climate. All of you, however, are now part of our first circular economy accelerator focused on one of our superpowers, artificial intelligence and machine learning, all related to waste. No doubt, AI is poised to have significant impacts on humanity, business, and society, and I believe it will be a critical enabler to create a more circular and sustainable future. As I sit back and reflect on this inaugural cohort going through the Circular Economy Accelerator, I loved seeing the breadth of the solutions that all contribute to a common goal around waste, such as recycling, logistics, dealing with food waste, and others. For example, Beni is enabling everyday shoppers to participate in the circular economy without changing their behavior by illuminating used clothing options at a point of sale. I was also drawn to HAMMOQ, which provides AI solutions for large-scale processing of re-commerce and secondhand goods. Finally, Ishitva Robotic Systems makes automation solutions for sorting of recyclable materials using AI, machine learning, and IoT devices. These are some great examples of innovation for the circular economy. Now, looking ahead, I believe that much of the disruptive change that we will see in the world will come from entrepreneurs who take a risk, build a business, and are focused on solving real customer and user challenges. Innovation is a process of change, and if you're here, you are the innovators. You are the change makers. You are the ones taking risks to build a bridge to a better future. There is a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity ahead of us to unlock through new business models for the circular economy. And as the world faces large-scale threats such as climate change, resource depletion, and severe ecosystem degradation, the world needs you now more than ever, because we are all connected to those changes that are happening in the world. Those changes impact our businesses, our families, our friends, and our communities. I started my journey in the circular economy in 2002 when I first read Cradle to Cradle, Remaking the Way We Make Things by Bill McDonough and Michael Braungart. A few years later, I had the honor and privilege and opportunity to work for the both of them to help build Cradle to Cradle in the business community. And it has since blossomed into the modern circular economy movement. One of the things that Bill would often say is that design is the first signal of human intention. And today we celebrate the early stage startup community, from the companies to investors, mentors, and customers, to honor the cohort of companies and the signal to the world of our intention to support those who are designing solutions for business, humanity, the world, and future generations. Thank you for all of your hard work, your tireless spirit, and your dedication to accelerate the transition to a circular economy. I cannot wait to see all of your future success in the months and years ahead.
Thank you so much for your inspiring and insightful message, Mike. Let's get back to our startups. Up next is a company focusing on traceable and reusable packaging for all sorts of retailers. Please welcome Chantal from LimeLoop. Hi Chantal, it's good to see you again. Tell us something about yourself. How do you get into tech and sustainability?
Yeah, great question. So I am a software engineer by trade. Straight out of college, I joined the AmeriCorps program, which is basically kind of like a domestic Peace Corps you could think about. And I got placed at this really great organization in New York City, where I was tasked with increasing their ability to leverage volunteers to do good and to use technology to do that. So straight out of college, I was able to have an opportunity to see what technology can do, and you can apply it in a really great way to expanding the capabilities of doing good. And so you can see I kind of caught that bug very early to figure out other ways that I can leverage technology in such a way. Fast forward, moved out to the Bay Area, which is like the best place to get fully immersed in all things tech and learn a lot. And met my now co-founder, Ashley, and we really thought about, what could we tackle that would have huge impact. And both as avid online shoppers ourselves, we recognize the problem of single-use packaging, both personally and then globally, and had this opportunity to think of what would we do if we could rethink the box from the ground up and leverage technology to do so. And so that was kind of the way that LimeLoop came about.
LimeLoop is really a bold take on reusable packaging, because what you folks are building is not only sustainable, but also pretty high tech. What is the cost part behind it?
Yeah, so the technology is twofold. One is we knew that because of the fact that we wanted this to be a circular solution and we wanted our packages to stay within the system for upwards of 200 trips, that wasn't just going to happen by chance, right? If you don't know where those packages are, you can't work to keep them in the system. And so that was number one, traceability and visibility. And what we realized very quickly are that those are two things that are missing from the ecosystem as a whole that people are struggling with. And so by solving for the sustainability aspect for it, we were providing a real need across the board. The second was taking advantage of the fact that the package is reusable, to use that as an excuse to learn more and an ability to learn more about what's going on in and around them. You would never make money putting a reusable sensor inside of a single-use package, because you'd be throwing it away every single time. There's no ROI in that. But take a package that's going to last over 200 times, and now you can start asking questions about the temperature and where it is and when it's been opened, because that technology that you're putting into it is going to last those 200 uses as well.
Well, the geek in me can't wait to learn more about your technology. So, Chantal, the stage is yours. Give us your pitch.
Hello, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Chantal Emanuel. I'm the CTO and co-founder of LimeLoop. We're delivering a world without waste with our trackable, reusable packaging system. Now, I'm going to take a guess that many of you watching this have a pile of cardboard boxes at your home right now. And it's an easy guess to take because we ship over 46 million packages every single day. 30 million of those will end up in the landfill, and 5 million of those will be reported as missing. This is having huge consequences, not just on our landfill, but on the efficiency and the optics of moving those packages through the system, as well as the ever increasing cost of those packages. Which is why at LimeLoop, we believe that packaging can be better for all. It could be more economical, it could be more efficient and more environmentally friendly. And the way that we're getting there is with reusable packaging that we paired with a sensor and smart technology for a software platform. So how does that work? It's actually really simple. So just like you would grab a cardboard box to fill an order, you grab a LimeLoop package. Take Toad & Co., one of our first customers. They put their order inside the LimeLoop package, ship it out. The recipient just has to flip over that return label to send the empty package back to Toad & Co. to use over and over again for another 200 uses. And this solution works whether you're sending a single pair of jeans to a customer or 100 pair of jeans for your B2B warehouse to store solution. And that global packaging market right now is valued about $850 billion and growing to about $2 trillion in the next 5 years. And what's setting us apart from our other competitors in the reusable packaging space is leveraging technology to move those packages through the system in a smart and efficient way. And so through our technology, we know more about what's going on in and around our packaging, including the temperature, where it is, when it's been open, as well as up-leveling that customer data around the sustainability impacts, your CO2, water, land use, and plastic savings. We've kept our business model super simple and cost-effective for our retailers, offering a SaaS-like per package, per month pricing system that allows them to save on their packaging right out of the gate. And it's proving to work. We've shipped hundreds of thousands of LimeLoop packages since our launch, with just about a 1% churn in customer bases and about 6 million in our pipeline. And most importantly for us, by reducing carbon emissions by about 93% for our customers. And our amazing team is really how we've gotten there. My business partner, Ashley, and I have known each other for over 10 years with experience working in supply chain and product development. And we partner with great folks in operations, marketing, design, and more. And our advisory board includes folks from Target, Google, and beyond to really help us propel this. But of course, we could always use more support, which is we'd love for you to join us in really bringing this to scale. And the biggest thing around that is using what we've learned about how to make circular economy work at scale for our packaging to the city near you. Our goal is to have our LimeLoop packaging land on your doorstep within the year, which is why we'd love for you to join LimeLoop in delivering a world without waste. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Chantal. LimeLoop sounds like a great platform for e-commerce players. Any partners already in the pipeline or you hope to work with next?
Great question. And to specify, we are a great solution for e-commerce, but a really great solution for B2B as well. And so again, the 100 pair of jeans that you want to get from your warehouse to the store, think about getting rid of those really big cardboard boxes. And our partners range in different industries, but some notable ones are Toad & Co, Topo Design, and Upchoose, and really great apparel companies that we've been working with. And we've also moved into sporting goods, shoes, and we're getting ready for some food and pharmaceutical as well.
Thank you, Chantal. Well, we just heard from Chantal from LimeLoop. So you've been to concerts, house parties, football matches. What's the most common sight? Single-use cups. That's a lot of plastic wastage. Our next startups, though, might be able to make it a thing of the past. Please welcome Ryan from Turn. Hey Ryan, it's good to see you again. We understand that you're not from the States, so tell us where you're from and how you end up in the US.
Hey, I'm Ryan. I grew up in New Zealand, and I came over here in 2019 after we did U2's tour in Australasia, and the manager of U2 wanted to see more artists go towards reuse and help back us into the US.
So you're targeting single-use cups right now. What other products do you have at site?
Anything in terms of single use that can go to reuse, we've been targeting.
All right, Ryan, ready for your pitch? Take it away.
Hey guys, Ryan here from Turn. Excited to be chatting and presenting to you today. Turn, my company Turn is the global leader at reuse. We've been in the reuse space for the last 10 years and built a platform that is designed for scale. We have been working with some of the world's leading partners in this space, including Live Nation, AB InBev, Delta, all of them looking to move towards reuse and scale up, particularly over the next 5 years. Live Nation is the first brand, the leading entertainment company. They own some of the largest music festivals in North America to move towards reuse with us at scale. They invested last year, plus they gave us a global contract to move towards reuse across their live events business. It's really exciting because it's been driven by legislation globally. Legislation has been forcing these brands to start making some really lofty goals to move in the reuse space. The big reason legislation has come in is it is 8 times less CO2 to use reuse than than single use. Stop using single use, people. We need more reuse. And it's super exciting because we've really got the platform that helps these brands get at scale. These brands are using millions, if not billions of cups every year. And with our system, we help them get there. And so when I talk about our system, some of the key components that allows these brands to get to scale and stop billions of single-use plastic cups from landfill is our products, our collection systems, and really our washing that fully integrate as a platform to start getting rid of single-use and making reuse the main thing. Our system is fully customizable. We were just at UEFA just last weekend at the Championship League, where Pepsi fully integrated our platform to drive reuse as rewards to consumers to get them returning. And we're washing all of those cups. So there's no single-use plastic cups left at the Championship League final. Our system has a custom smart bin, which is really one of the key components brands choose us. We're able to get up to 90% of our products returned to us by giving rewards to consumers in our bins for returning the products to us. At live events, it can be like a VIP upgrade. You know, when you go to a coffee shop, you might get rewards from the coffee shop. It's fully malleable to be changed depending on the client. And that really is what drives the consumers to do the right thing. Here's another example that we did with Budweiser, where you could earn a free beer, for example, when those products got returned to the bins. Our system doesn't require an app or anything else, which is one of the other key components. Consumers just receive a text from us. They can integrate with the apps already in existence. Could be, for example, if you've got KFC's app, you tap the bin, you get rewards. That drives returns. It's been hyper successful in the last year. We launched at Lollapalooza, the largest music festival in North America, and saw over 90% of those products to get returned because of these rewards. The system also can be integrated in a really cool way. Sometimes the reward could be a free text from a favorite artist or actor or something within the show. Ashton obviously gave us this example that we can integrate, you know, to drive these returns within these live events. The other really key component of our system is washing. You can't do reuse at scale unless you can wash at scale. We designed washing systems that can wash up to 5 times faster than other dishwashers in the market. The other big reason brands choose us is these washing systems are mobile. We can drop ship a shipping container almost anywhere in the world and start washing and drying really quickly, allowing us to scale up and down reuse in new markets almost at any time. Another really cool one is our washing trucks. You'll start seeing them on the road soon. Imagine going to your coffee shop and then seeing the truck drive past that's washing your products in that truck after you've returned it to our bins. Ultimately, what we're getting is data on reuse, and that's really the biggest driver for the brands. Brands like Red Bull used to be a brand on a cup. Now they're moving away from that and able to get a bunch of key insights and data, both environmentally and consumer focused, that they can then use internally. It could be why is someone returning the Red Bull cup? Where did they return the cup? And then how much CO2 and waste was diverted from those consumers returning those cups. We see that we get a big, large group of power users in our live events business. These are people who will go collect thousands of cups and return them to the bins just so they can win the VIP upgrade or a ticket to another show, or maybe receive a text from Ashton. Another key component that really hits the majority is just environmental reasons. You can return cups and we'll donate or we'll give access to environmental causes for doing the right thing, and that is really beneficial, and that drives up this return rate. Another key thing we do to make it really easy is we just have hundreds of bins. When you go to Lollapalooza or Austin City Limits and you use our system, there are thousands of bins across the music festival, making it really convenient and easy for you to return and get rewarded for doing the right thing. Our business model at Turn is one of our other key components that has made us successful. We just go and absorb the single-use plastic budget that is already in existence and turn it into reuse. If a client normally used 1 billion single-use plastic cups, we'll take that same budget and then give them 1 billion washes and reuses. One of the reasons we can do that is we can wash with our technology cheaper than it is to produce another single-use product. And so because we can wash at scale and cheap enough, that allows us really to compete against single-use plastic at scale within these markets. We're talking billions of products being used, not millions. Starbucks is using almost 9 billion cups a year. Coca-Cola is using around 15 billion products a year that can be reusable. And so at scale, Turn can wash those products and really drive this consumer behavior with our rewards platform. We're lucky enough to have some really awesome advisors and experienced team. Excuse me. I've got over 10 years experience in the reuse space. I started one of the first reuse businesses in New Zealand and Australia and turned it into the market leader. Stevie Atkin came to us from Red Bull, where he had driven out the live events, hardware and activations for them over the last 7 years. And even Hey Joe has built one of the leading scooter companies in the world with both a hardware, software and return business, which is really similar to us. We're also lucky to have advisors like Guy Oseary, who's the world's leading music manager, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Miley Cyrus used to be U2, Guy has managed. And there's a lot of major music artists looking to move away from single-use plastic cups at their concerts to reuse, which has been a big driver for them backing us and building in Turn. We're lucky enough to have some great reviews on Turn. We obviously helped Delta win the most sustainable flight for SkyTeam last year. And that really is what drove reuse in flight for them as they're doing these tests. AB InBev is being driven by legislation. They're the largest brewer in the world, using hundreds of millions of cups in Europe alone. And they've been looking at Turn, helping us integrate with them to start driving reuse because they need to hit it because of the legislation and they need to be able to do it at scale. Ultimately, Turn is across multiple verticals. We're supplying everything from hotels, universities, airports, airlines, and fast food, which is really the largest consumer of single-use plastic globally across the world. Here you'll see some of our activations in real time. Princeton University has been one of the first universities in North America to move towards reuse. We activated with them a few weeks ago. In the middle, you'll see Pepsi's CEO Global and also CEO of North America, working with our bins as we start to test and integrate them across the Pepsi business globally. And then Delta Airlines, as I was saying, is moving towards reuse in flight. They're right now into scalable tests where they've won major sustainability challenges by implementing reuse in flight. People love having a reusable cup on their airline flight. They feel guilty using single use. And then we're a partner of Waste Management, where we do the Waste Management Open. If you're not in the golf, it is the largest golf tournament in North America. And we've been activating with them for the last 2 years, helping devise how do we get rid of all their single-use plastic cups and move towards reuse. Ultimately, our vision is how do we get bins on every single street corner? We need a world where we're rewarding consumers for returning and collecting that data on why they're returning. We envision these bins on the corners, collecting all reusable products. As you'll see in the next few years, more brands move towards reuse. You'll see more of our bins either at the concert, airport, or at the fast food, KFC, McDonald's of the world, where you can go return these products and get awesome rewards for doing it. Turn is looking to be the most scalable reuse platform in the market, and I believe we have everything possible to make us get there. Thanks.
Thank you, Ryan. We heard you have established a lot of great partnerships in the last 6 months with municipals and brands like Live Nation. Tell us what in store for the near future.
Yeah, so we supply all of the largest music festivals, as I said, for Live Nation. So we're, Lollapalooza is a big one in Chicago that goes online next month. We're doing Bonnaroo in Bonnaroo this month, which is also a really large festival in North America. We just launched last week at the Championship League final with Pepsi, which was a huge success, where they stopped over, I think, 50,000 single-use plastic cups as an activation with Pepsi. You can see some great content online about that. And in the next 6 months, we're really moving heavily into fast food. There's a big driver. I can't say, but there'll be some major brands moving towards reuse in the next 6 months in the fast food takeaway arena. Trying to get ahead of 2030. In 2030, a lot of the companies have some really ambitious goals towards reuse. Pepsi wants to be like up to 25% refillable, reusable by 2030, for example. I think Starbucks is saying they want to be almost 100% reusable by 2028. So we're moving really quickly in this space towards driving reuse globally.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. So that was Ryan from Turn. Next up, we have the second of our special Google executive guests. She's an executive with a passion for collaboration across organizational boundaries and having spent a career at the leading edge of technology. She's also looking into how AI and generative AI can help accelerate our progress towards achieving our 2030 sustainability goals. And we're going to have a chat with her. Please welcome Jen Beddick, Google Cloud's Technical Director of Sustainability. Hey Jen, thanks for joining us today. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and how you got here?
Yeah, so I'm in the Office of the CTO, and I lead our technology strategy for sustainability. I've been at Google for just about 6.5 years. Prior to Google, I spent about the first, let's say, 15 years or so of my career as an engineer and an engineering leader, primarily working on disruptive technologies, or what I often like to refer to as emerging technologies. But I was really fortunate to be able to work with a number of startups early in my career, which I actually am super grateful. It really allowed me to learn a lot about, not just engineering, but the business, how to run things, what works, what doesn't work, how to work collaboratively with customers. And I think that's really what developed my love of not just developing technology, but applying it and working with customers to really make it, successful. And then just before coming to Google, I was the general manager of manufacturing at GE and leading a lot of our efforts around reimagining manufacturing using big data. And, often what we referred to at the time, as the industrial internet. And so that's, part of the reason I came to Google was because, I was involved in, applying big data, at the time, a lot of analytics, and really wanted to come to Google and probably have a bigger impact than I could have anywhere else.
Thanks for sharing, Jen. Next question. with your tech background, what made you take on this portfolio? And when did you really started going more green?
Yeah, so when looking back, to sort of I really wanted to get back into my technology roots. So as I mentioned, like the first 15 years of my career was really all in engineering. And over time, I got more into product and more into business. And of course, my role as a general manager was really running the business. And so I was really looking to get back more to my technology roots. And, when I was interviewing for Octo, or that's what we call the Office of the CTO, we really look here for technology leaders who have deep technical experience in a few areas, but also a breadth of experience across a number of technologies. And then we also look for people who really have a passion for working with customers and really applying technology. And so for me, that sounded like a perfect fit. And it's just been a wonderful experience. If I think about, green and sustainability in more of a broader sense, I'd say all my experience in manufacturing at GE was, had a sustainability lens to it. We were talking about reducing waste and, making energy, optimizing energy and, all these things that we talk about now in sustainability. But this was more, focused on how do we really make the best manufacturing process. And so but I would say I really started focusing, almost entirely on sustainability about 4 years ago when I took this role. And, part of the reason I took it on was because I was working with a couple of customers who really wanted to push the envelope of what might be possible and how we could leverage technology to do that. And it really interested me a lot. And I thought, this is what I want to spend, the next part of my career focused on.
Sounds pretty exciting, marrying technology and sustainability together. So what can we expect from Google in the future, especially in the field of sustainability and circular economy?
Yeah, at Google, we really have a unique opportunity to help lead the transition to, a more sustainable future, primarily by making information accessible and by really driving innovations forward. I mean, we are a data and a technology company, and with a ton of research in application of AI in this field. And so if you think about our mission and really grounded in that mission, we're really focused on empowering individuals, businesses, organizations, and governments with really high quality information through our products and through our platforms that can serve billions of people. I mean, that's a really powerful way to reach, how we want to, tackle sustainability. And I think our deep legacy in research and really breakthroughs that we're making in AI and in data, this can really give people new ways of accessing information and accelerating the innovation that's going to be needed to tackle climate change. We have a 3-pillar strategy focusing internally on making our own business sustainable, working together with others, and then reaching those billions of users and individuals at the scale that really, I believe only, Google is one of the few that can actually do that. And so I'm excited. You're going to see us continue to focus on those 3 pillars. You're going to see us to continue to challenge ourselves in how technology can tackle sustainability and climate action. And of course, circular economy is a really great way that we can start to look at how do we, apply our technology? How do we think about circularity? How do we use our platforms to help people find information about where they can, recycle or, enable our partners like we're doing within this Startup Accelerator to bring more capabilities to all the people that we can reach. And we're super excited to do this, and you'll continue to see us doing this.
Having spent time with the startups, the founders of the cohort, what excites you the most from the solutions that they're coming up with for circular economy?
Yeah, let me tell you, it was really great to spend time with so many in this cohort, and not only to learn about their products and services and their company, but actually to also learn about their journey as entrepreneurs. I was probably most impressed with the creative use of technology. Shifting from linear to circular economies, this is no easy feat. And almost every aspect of our lives will be impacted. And so it's very broad. And so as an entrepreneur, narrowing into a really important problem and then looking at how technology can help is really critical to success. everything from like the food we eat, the products we buy, how we buy them, how we package them to get to consumers, streamlining all the operations behind that. There's so many aspects that we need to tackle. I was really impressed in how they looked at technology, picked their problems, and really dove in to make it real. So for example, I was really inspired by the work on, making resale simpler and more accessible. In fact, recently I had to buy a new mobile phone, and instead of buying new, I chose to go to a resale platform. So I was really inspired by the work that people are doing, and I'm really encouraged by what's possible. I was also inspired by the use of technology in packaging and looking for economical ways to build reusable packaging. The use of AI to really help sort secondhand goods, and really streamline the process, again, to make it economically feasible. And, probably more holistically, the use of AI and computer vision to sort waste, to detect freshness in produce, and just to catalog food waste. All of these things, really, really inspiring uses of technology to really help solve these challenges with circular economy. And, I would just say, for those of you tuning in to this demo day, I really encourage you to reach out, get to know these entrepreneurs better, understand what they're doing, and really help support them in their journey, because what they're doing is really important to really help us shift from these linear economies to circular economies.
Thank you so much, Jen. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us here today. Back to our startups. We all know recycling is vital to a functioning circular economy, but have you ever wondered what the data behind recycling is like? Our next guest from BinIt might be able to tell you. Hi, Raghav. It's good to see you again. Tell us something about yourself. What's your background and how you get involved in circular economy?
Sure. So I guess to start off with my background, I'm Raghav Macheri. Nice to meet you. I graduated Columbia University class of 2022. So I finished my undergraduate education last year, studied computer science and applied math with a focus on machine learning, intelligent systems, all that fun stuff. My background is primarily in product and software. So I spent a couple of summers, as normal college kids spent, at Microsoft, PayPal, a bunch of great software companies. But I wanted to do something smaller. And I think that's how I ended up in my current role. The circular economy part was actually through a competition at Columbia, which was centered around essentially solving large-scale urban problems. And we picked the problem we see the most of, garbage.
That's pretty awesome. Well, what is the spark behind BinIt? Like, was it an idea from a single person, or was it from a group think tank moment?
So I don't want to take credit for who came up with the idea. It definitely was not me. It was a teammate of mine. But the idea came from a very clear premise, which was actually we were standing in front of 3 trash cans and we were breaking our heads about where our trash goes. And at that point we went, you know what? We live in, like, at the time it was 2020. So like we live in 2020, we can automate this thing. And well, one thing led to another, and that's the BinIt you know today.
That's awesome, Raghav. Well, now is your time. Take it away. Show us your pitch.
Hey, everybody. My name is Raghav Macheri, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer here at BinIt. Today, I'm here to speak to you about an issue that has global implications: solid waste disambiguation problem. As you're all probably familiar, the world's recycling supply chain is just that, a supply chain. When different generators or sources of waste create material, the expectation is that material is sent to a different type of processing facility, depending on, of course, of what it is. And there, it's handled, recycled, and then finally safely disposed of. In practice, however, this breaks down. The EPA estimates that only 30% of the world's waste is ever recycled. Recycling's efficiency is consistently called into question, even as the world's need for it rises exponentially. The question is, why? The answer is actually pretty simple. Recycling has a manual component at its source. The reality of what happens is far more similar to the diagram you see on the right rather than the diagram you see on the left, where relying on human-driven decisions results in misdirected material right from the source. This compounds an already difficult problem one that, of course, has worldwide implications. The issue of misdirected material entering the recycling supply chain causes massive operational issues at industrial recycling facilities, regardless of the type of waste they process. If you look at a batch of incoming material, it can typically have one of two problems. Batteries, gas tanks, and ink and toner cartridges are by far the most infamous culprits in the recycling industry, as they're incredibly prone to fires. Fun fact, in 2022, out of the 800 odd municipal recovery facilities which process curbside recycling, which is a subset of the broader recycling industry, we saw over 350 fires just in 2022. That's over one fire in every 2 or 3 MRFs in a city. Other mischaracterized waste, aside from batteries, gas tanks, and ink and toner, also cause painful and time-consuming process engineering issues at facilities across the board. Be it a mattress at a waste-to-energy incinerator, or organic matter or medical waste at a recycling facility, all of these cause massive equipment and process engineering issues. As a matter of fact, one of BinIt's own customers estimates that they lose over $500,000 a year just in lost fines and surcharge opportunities for every facility that accepts bad material. This is really where we come in. We at BinIt build AI-powered technology for waste stream reliability. What that means is we install either X-ray scanners or computer or camera sensors across recycling facilities, and we use a blend of state-of-the-art computer vision and traditional machine learning to actually analyze incoming waste streams. BinIt Hazard, which is our X-ray product, looks for those fire detection items I talked about earlier, like batteries, like propane tanks, whereas the vision system, which is our camera, looks for more generic issues, like misplaced and mischaracterized material, mattresses, or other issues that we want to catch and protect customers from. The kicker really here is our machine learning pipeline, specifically our approach with semi-supervised learning, which means that we scale up across customer facilities in mere days instead of months, regardless of the type of material they process or regardless of the type of hazard we're actually looking for. This scaling has resulted in us being able to both sell and implement in a matter of weeks. We convert our typical customer in under 2 months. We recently crossed $1.5 million in revenue, and the time it takes us to support a new setting has become 6 times as fast, going from 6 weeks to under 2 weeks for our most recent adaptation. We also have a live sales pipeline of over $6 million. We're privileged to work with some of the largest industry leaders across North America, and this is across the waste and recycling sector. And I think their guidance has really been invaluable to shaping the product right from day one. But what really has set us apart is our approach to tech-driven horizontal growth. BinIt's technology supports waste providers across the supply chain, regardless of the type of material they process, something that makes us unique and the only provider in the world to be able to do so. Of course, digitizing industrial waste processing is just a start. We believe here at BinIt that digitizing the broader waste sector is a $30 billion plus annual opportunity. And after we work towards actually implementing computer vision at these industrial facilities, we plan to go into waste tracking and minimization for the broader heavy equipment industry before finally trying to fulfill our end vision, which is giving the world visibility into its environmental debt. Of course, BinIt's founding team from back in 2020 is myself and my co-founder, James. Both of us went to Columbia University together. I studied computer science while James studied applied math. And my experience is mostly around product and software on the implementation side, while James worked in R&D, spending time at the DoD, Cal Analytics, and Ohio State University. Our ask today is simple. We're in the process of gathering up for a round of financing, so any introductions or perspective on BinIt would be much appreciated. With that being said, like any business, we're most interested in connecting with stakeholders that might find our technology interesting. If you care about waste or are at all interested in quantifying the impact your organization's solid waste might be making on our planet, please feel free to reach out. With that being said, thank you all for taking the time to hear me out today. I hope you join us in bringing waste into the digital era.
Awesome stuff, Rahaf. Who are your bigger partners and how are they benefiting from BinIt?
Some of BinIt's largest customers are industrial recycling facilities, waste-to-energy plants, and e-scrap recyclers. They benefit from the BinIt ENS, or hazard detection product, by essentially using it to detect batteries before they see fires. The BinIt Vision system typically helps customers audit incoming waste material, so they know A, that they're receiving exactly what they're getting paid for, and B, they can actually predict their outgoing returns from the stuff they're recycling.
Awesome stuff, Rakav. Well, thank you so much. Well, you just heard from Rakav of BinIt, and we look forward to seeing them in the big league real soon. Last but not least, we have a company that helps you keep track of shelf life of produce and curb food wastage. Please welcome Catherine from Strella. Hey Catherine, tell us where you're from and how it became your life mission to curb food wastage.
I've been all over the US. I was born in Boulder. I grew up in Boston and Northern Virginia, and then ended up in Philadelphia when I became an adult. So I've been all over the place, and I think I've seen food waste in a lot of different ways, including my own consumer behaviors everywhere I go.
What is the core principle of Strella, and where did that stem from?
The core principle of Strella is that we've developed a sensor technology that can predict how ripe fruits and veggies are. And then we can use that shelf life information to make smarter decisions all across the chain. The idea stemmed from my background in molecular biology and the need for having kind of almost a translator or a communicator with produce as they're living organisms as they travel down the chain.
Thank you, Catherine. Whenever you're ready, the floor is yours. Give us your pitch.
Hello, my name is Catherine, and I'm the CEO of Strella. We're a team of about 18 produce nerds. We've got everything you can imagine: electrochemistry, biochemistry, post-harvest physiology, and all of us are really passionate about solving the problem of food waste. 1/3 of food is wasted before it's consumed, which is an incredible number and something that absolutely doesn't belong in the 21st century. Food waste is caused for two major reasons. The first one is there's a lack of quantifiable data. A lot of growers we know can drive down their orchards in their F-150 and feel when fruit is ready to be picked off the tree, but that information can't be translated across that organization, and certainly not as the product moves down the chain. The second problem is siloed supply chain segments, meaning that there's not a lot of information that's transferred as a product is passed down the chain, enabling kind of a giant game of hot potato, if you will, with perishable produce. So in order to solve that problem, we've created a sensor that helps us predict the shelf life of different types of produce. And we use that to make better decisions in the food supply chain. We started in the apple and pear industry in Washington State. 80% of all the apples that we eat in the US are actually produced in Washington State. And so a supplier of apples has a pretty big conundrum. So fun fact, an apple in a grocery store can be over a year old. And this is because apples are stored in these massive storage rooms. And a supplier who's doing this storage doesn't know where their ripest apple is. So they take a lot of data that is not super clustered and not super great, and they try to make a decision, but ultimately they create a lot of waste. So instead of doing a guessing game, we created a proprietary sensor technology that enables us to predict how ripe apples are in storage. And then we use that information to help a supplier make a decision about which apples to send down the chain. The way that our sensor works is it measures gases that fruits emit as they're ripening. They're kind of like the secret communications between fruits and veggies. And you've probably seen this when you put an unripened banana next to a ripe one and see that it ripens a lot faster than if it was by itself. So now we take that shelf life data and we help the supplier. We tell them 2 months ahead of time that their apples are going to go bad, which gives them plenty of time to send it down the supply chain before anything actually perishes and have it consumed. We've monitored over 2 billion apples to date and prevented over 3 million pounds of apples and pears from going to waste. So our next step was to say, well, what happens after the supplier sends it to the next person in the chain? And that next person is the retailer. So a retailer receives a black box of apples and they don't know too much about the quality and too much about their parameters. And on top of that, retailers aren't really experts in apples. So we help retailers understand what the quality of the fruit looks like coming in and help eliminate a lot of manual QC processes through our automated quality management platform. The way that it works is in 2 steps. So the first thing we do is we leverage our existing relationships with our suppliers to help them understand what the right pallets are to send to the retailer. So if a retailer has 20 days of shelf life that they need on a pallet, we help identify that pallet and send it to the retailer. And the second thing we do is triage within the distribution center of the retailer. So instead of moving product first in, first out as is traditionally done, we're always moving the most mature apples to the grocery store first to help eliminate in-store shrink. We've had some pretty awesome results. So we've been able to reduce in-store shrink at top 10 retailers by up to 51%. And we've also been able to improve the quality of produce, meaning your chances as a consumer of biting into a mealy and mushy apple are 5 times reduced. So we're very excited about those results. And finally, the next step for us was to say, okay, we did apples, we followed them across the chain. Can we do this with another commodity? And so we expanded into bananas. Now, you've probably noticed that the bananas at the grocery store are oftentimes kind of not super yellow, kind of green. Well, it's because ripening a banana right now is more of an art than it is a science. And so we like to take the art out of a science. So instead of relying on a ripener to go into a ripening room and kind of use their intuition and experience to ripen bananas to that perfect yellow color, we're putting sensors inside ripening rooms that can predict how ripe the banana is and how ripe it's going to be at the end of the day and help the ripener do a better job. So we basically we can give anybody off the street a tablet with our little banana board, and you can ripen a banana if you wanted to. So here is what it looks like. Basically, you can see all of the different information about your bananas and how they're ripening and things like that. And then at the top left here, you can see recommendations on how to get those bananas perfect. So in this case, we want to decrease the temperature in one side of that ripening room to get that nice yellow color. So we started this company out of a passion for reducing food waste, and it's very important for us to not only have a very significant impact on the P&Ls of the customers that we work with, but also keep sustainability in mind as we progress into other commodities and supply chain segments. Please feel free to reach out. We'd love to talk to you, whether you're a produce nerd or someone who's interested in working with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Catherine. So, ideal future for the planet. What is it like, and what role would you want Strella to play in it?
I think the next step towards building the ideal future is to get all the hungry folks no longer hungry and everyone that's at or below the poverty line out of it. And I think Strella can do a big thing in reducing food waste and helping to move product where it needs to go so that we can feed more people.
Thank you, Catherine. So that was Catherine from Strella. It's time for our final special guest. She's someone who thrives in an entrepreneurial environment and excels in bringing order to chaos, vision into reality, and inspiring others to achieve their fullest potential. She's also the founder of the GTech sustainability team here at Google, focusing on circular economy projects with a mission to create a future without waste. All the way from Mountain View, with our good friend Robert Little, please welcome the Managing Director of GTech Sustainability, SD Chang. Over to you, Robert.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Bach. I'm sitting here with SD Chang. SD, I'd love for you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about your sustainability journey.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm SD Chang, and I lead a team at Google called GTech Sustainability. I've actually been at Google for about 16 years, worked across regions, multiple products. But about 3 years ago, I had a great fortune of pivoting my career towards sustainability and technology. It actually all started when our VP, Emmanuel Sackett, came back from a sailing trip from San Francisco to Hawaii. On this trip, he accidentally sailed through the Pacific garbage patch. It took him 3 days to sail through an ocean of garbage, twice the size of Texas. And when he came back, he became really determined to do something about it. And a group of us got really inspired by his story and decided to volunteer our time looking at this problem. And it really started initially with just what can Google do internally and eventually grew into a team that were looking at circular economy solutions that we can help accelerate within Google and also with the wider ecosystem.
Awesome. Well, let's spend a little bit more time on that. So tell me more about what your team focuses on and how you accelerate sustainability through Google.
Sure. We think about this in kind of a three-pronged approach. The first one is called Leading at Google. How can Google reduce our own waste footprint and model good behavior? So in that pillar, we partner with various teams and organizations within Google. For example, we just launched the Single-Use Plastic Challenge with our food operations team as sourcing innovative reusable solutions that we can pilot and scale within our food spaces and hopefully amplify these solutions to the wider ecosystem. Our second pillar is called Supporting Partners. And in this case, we have launched an open source AI model called CircularNet with the idea of helping the recycling ecosystem improve waste identification or material sorting and analytics. Our third pillar is called Enabling Everyone. And in this case, we partner with some of our billion user products like Search and Maps to bring and organize the world's recycling information and bring that information to our user base. For example, if you search for battery recycling near me, you can now find drop-off locations, hopefully, across your neighborhood.
Awesome. I want to bring it back to the accelerator here. We just saw a number of really fantastic presentations by our initial cohort. Mm-hmm. I'm curious on what your hope is for the audience, having seen all this.
Yeah, it has been an honor supporting this very first Google Circular Economy Accelerator. And every time I meet with them, I'm just so blown away by the type of problem they're solving for and the scale that they're solving at, as well as just the talent and the innovation and technology that they bring to the table. I think at the heart of this is that waste is a very relatable problem to all of us, whether it's food waste, in your fridge, or packaging waste, or single-use plastic waste. It oftentimes is something that we're frustrated by, but oftentimes don't know what the obvious solutions are. And today, I hope you guys met with some really great companies that are really bringing innovation to this space and can find ways to really help support them.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Esti. And Bach, back to you.
Thank you, Robert and Esti. That was quite an interesting and insightful conversation. It's inspiring to hear your experience and perspective on how we can work together for a better, greener future. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of this year's Demo Day. Thank you all for joining us today, and a special thanks to our executive guests for taking their time to be part of this. Hope everybody got inspired by the solutions, businesses, and services that these startups are building for a better world. They have been working day and night over the past 6 months with their respective mentors on this, so if you want to support them more, do reach out to us and we're happy to connect you with them. And for all the amazing startups, thank you for inspiring us and making the world a better place. We here at Google will continue to find ways of working and partnering with you to get you to the next level of success. We have another video focused on APAC that will be coming up soon on our channel, so do make sure you look out for that as well. I'm Bach, and this has been the Google for Startups Circular Economy Accelerator Demo Day 2023.